Hello, I'm Nekamubi, and today I'd like to continue my conversation with you around thriving in a VUCA world. For the past couple of weeks, I have talked about how to thrive in a VUCA world, and I'm going to conclude my thoughts with you today. If you remember, VUCA stands for a volatile, for V, U is uncertain, C is complex, and today I'm going to talk about A, which is an ambiguous world. I'm sure you will agree with me that this world we live in is currently a VUCA world, perhaps even raised to the power 10. And I shared about how this was developed after the end of last World War that was several decades ago. And so what's an ambiguous world? I'm sure you'll also agree that yes, it's ambiguous. And just to help you get a better understanding, ambiguous means not clear, having more than one possible meaning. And because things are not clear, it will lead to confusion. In the past couple of weeks, have you felt confused? If you're a business owner, what do you do? Do you reduce your marketing spend? Do you let some people go? When are the children going back to school? And so you're not able to make any decisions and move. That is really what it is to live in an ambiguous world. And because of it, you can't figure out what to do next. And what happens is that when you can't figure out what to do next, are paralyzed, you don't do anything. And it doesn't help that the different governments of the world have instituted lockdowns, and so it's kind of locked, everybody stands still. But still, there's still some ways that you can still thrive even in an ambiguous world. And I'm going to share with you 3 of those ways that you could. The first is to reduce the number of unknowns. One of the reasons that causes ambiguity is that there are just so many unknowns, so many moving parts. The lockdowns, we don't know how long the lockdown is going to be. I'm currently in Kenya, and the president, Uhuru Kenyatta, has just extended the ban of international flights, local and international flights, for 30 days. What does that mean? If I had plans for meetings and all that, traveling, or even other business people, you can't do anything. You have to remain within where you live. I'm sure it's also the same in your country. I believe Spain also extended the time, even the UK. In America, it's kind of a wait and see period. And so with all of this, you are not able to plan as much. Also, we don't know when the vaccine will be ready. I know that scientists and researchers are really working against time just to ensure that something comes on, praying that that happens sooner rather than later. However, there are still, even in spite of several unknowns, there are still ways you can get some things that you know. So in my case, in Kenya, we have another month. And so you can begin to plan beyond that 1 month. Another way to do that is look at the forecast information of the multilateral organizations. So for example, the IMF, what's the IMF putting out? WHO, even your federal governments, your presidents, what are they saying? How long are they putting things on hold? If you belong to a member professional association, it's worth getting information from trusted sources. Economists, what are the economists saying? And so with that, you're able to begin to eliminate or reduce some of these unknowns. A couple of days ago on CNN, Dr. Fauci, who is like the head of the infectious disease in America, they had asked him when children are going to go back to school. While he did not fully confirm, he did say perhaps the beginning of fall, which is around August, September. So as parents, you can now, if you're in America, you can begin to plan for that period, beyond that period. So you kind of have an idea and I kind of can anchor some knowns now. And that will help you to narrow down your parameters for you to now make the decision and thrive within that limited confine. And that takes me to the second way that you can thrive in an ambiguous world. And that is being able to make short-term decisions. And when I say short-term decisions, it's not about you throwing away your annual plans. And I'm assuming that you made some annual plans. It's about kind of picking a window, say 90 days. 90 days is always a good time, so 3 months. and kind of zero in on the next 90 days. And obviously, if you look at other external providers, the longest they are giving in terms of what they see is between 30 to 90 days. So it's about you aligning your plans based on that information that you have gathered. And so you can be able to plan your business, your professional life, your personal life within the next 90 days without throwing away your annual plan. And then at the end of that 90 days, you can revisit based on external information that you have gathered. And I'm saying relying on information that is trusted, right? So it's not about the WhatsApp that is being forwarded or the news and all of those things, but really very credible resources, as I mentioned in the first way. That's about reducing the number of unknowns. And I strongly suggest that you avoid making knee-jerk reactions. And you know what that means, or knee-jerk decisions. That is whereby you've received some news that you have no control over, and immediately you are just shaken, and it brings you back to being confused, and then you are now making a decision that may affect the whole year or even beyond that. So it's about being calm, reviewing the information you have, and just making a short-term decision. And it reminds me of a conversation I was having with the CEO of a tech company a couple of days ago. To help them make short-term decisions, they more or less formed what you call a war room, whereby the CEO and the leadership team meet every day virtually to review the previous day's events and be able to look at the consequences of any decisions that will be made, and just planning for the next day. So every day they gather, look at what has transpired overnight, and make decisions. And then even new strategies will only be implemented if they can bring it to market within 30 to 60 days, for example. That may be something you can also consider in helping you make short-term decisions. And last but not the least is being able to embrace agility. Agility is when you're able to move very quickly and make fast decisions based on the information that you have. And it's ever so important. So right now, you cannot afford to just take time in making those decisions. It's being agile, getting information that you have, and then responding very quickly to that. And that reminds me of a conversation that I had with the CEO of a tech company, where he gathers his leadership team together and they review events of the previous day. So they are meeting every day as opposed to monthly. Every day based on the information they have gathered and being able to plan for the next day. Also, they have like a plan that if they're not able to implement a particular strategy within 30 or 60 days, they do not move forward with that strategy. You can look at how you can incorporate being agile. Other ways is brainstorming with like-minded individuals. So if you're a business owner, it's important that you engage with other business owners in a structured way, because you really can't know everything, and especially as you need to make decisions very quickly. And there are 3 ways I could actually support you in doing that. First is that I do have a Facebook group. It's called the African Entrepreneurs Forum. I invite you to be a part of that group. I'm constantly having guests, experts in their particular field, and also successful entrepreneurs in different fields. A couple of weeks ago, I had an expert in agriculture, and this week I'm going to invite a retailer who has been extremely successful and learn how she's been able to pivot. And so I'll be having different experts come in. So you're able to also engage with other entrepreneurs across the African continent. The second way that I can support you is being a member of my mastermind. I have several mastermind groups going. The first is called Accelerate, which is for female founders, where we come together. It's Pan-African. So again, that need to engage with other people that think differently from you, but also similar in that respect. And the last but not the least are masterminds for entrepreneurs generally. So it's both male and female. Information is down below. Let me know how you're also thriving in this environment. Let's hear from you. Or any questions that you have as well, send me an email and I'll be very happy to answer you. Until the next time I get to speak to you, endeavor to live a significant life and also keep a safe distance. Let's practice social distancing. God bless.